Welcome back, Beans Army, to another episode of the Less is More Sports podcast, the college offseason podcast, where you could say we're less of the regular season, but more of the offseason. I was very grateful to be able to do a show this week, battling a tough peak season schedule at FedEx. But more importantly, we were able to find 40 minutes out of this week that I could get Ryan to stop watching ass movies so that we could do a show.
Yeah, because that's what I was busy doing. This is why I pushed the t the podcast up from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, so I can watch that.
You pushed it from 6:30 to 8 o'clock.
No, sorry, from 8 o'clock to 6:30. You knew what I meant.
I mean, I don't know. I don't
You,
know
you did.
listen, you admitted you watch ass movies. I don't know what kind of ass movies you watch. That is
I
all I
less got off
know.
of work early.
Yes, I got off of work early and it just happened to be in perfect timing because Ryan was able to turn off his ass movies,
Yeah.
apparently.
Well, it's okay because Matt's grandma is on my side.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing. That was
That was
funny
funny.
as hell.
I was listening to those audio recordings of you all, and or it was just you that was sending audio recordings, but it was hilarious.
Well, sorry, I wasn't trying to text and drive. My bad.
Oh, I actually like the audio recordings. It says
You just
you're
want to hear my voice, don't lie.
no, not true.
That
Not
is exactly what it is. That's what I'm going with. That's what we're going with, and I'm sticking to it. But
no.
no, to fill everybody in with what is going on right now. So, because of the inside joke made on last episode where we joked about Ryan liking ass movies, if you all don't know what we're talking about, definitely tune into our most previous episode before this one. But in our group chat, I renamed Ryan's name in the group chat Ass Movies. Matt, being the good Samaritan that he is, was visiting his grandma during the week, and poor Matt's grandma just happens to look over and see that Matt gets a message on his phone, and it was from Ryan. But unfortunately, instead of saying Ryan Northcutt, it said ass movies, and she had all the questions in the world.
As she should.
As yes, as I think one that's not in on the joke probably would understandably have a lot of questions. And then so Matt actually filled her in with what was going on. It's like, no, this I'm not into some weird group chat, I promise you. This is an inside joke. But then she actually takes Ryan's side and is like, y'all need to leave that poor boy alone.
Hmm. Yeah.
I say
Exactly.
I don't think Ryan gets it enough, personally.
No, I love the support.
I
I think
bet you do.
get more support.
I mean, you ain't going in for me. I'm sorry.
She's buying me Christmas presents and not Matt.
That you know what? That would be the most embarrassing thing. But the funniest part about all this is that obviously, if you've been tuning in the podcast for a while, you know that me and Ryan's dad are friends. And so I told Ryan's dad, and he thought it was hilarious. So
Yeah. No, it
what
was
I
fun. It was
what
funny.
I got out of this is that Matt's grandma loves you more than your dad.
Yeah, maybe. No, I don't know. You know,
Alan knows it's all love here. Alan knows it's all love.
yeah, it's gonna be all love.
Anyways, Ryan, you said you had something you wanted to say to me?
Well, it's not me. It's he sent me a message, and this happens to be about the Arch Manning Julian Sand thing.
Uh-huh.
Uh, to you. So all of what I'm saying, and this is not, I can say my own voice. This is just he wants to put his 2 cents in. So I'm
Okay.
just reading off what he wanted me to say to you. So all I'm about to say is from him. Are we ready? Are
Uh,
you put your seatbelt in? Are you ready?
I don't really need a seatbelt in. I'm sitting on the couch, but
I
sure.
know you just got off work, so like take a breath and then are you ready?
Okay, fine.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right. Sayan has the highest completion percentage in college football history, regular season. He has the highest deep ball completion percentage. He's 12-1. Stats aren't mind-blowing because they, which is Ohio State, took care of things in the first half and early second half. Sayan being so good is the reason the run game is finally got going. Ohio State has very talented receivers, but the ball has to get to them somehow, and he's delivered all year long. His choke game, Les is referring to, is 21 for 29, 258, one touchdown, one interception. Julian Sand moved up in the mock. Julian Sand has moved up in the mock draft for next year. Say Manning, on the other hand, went from the first pick Heisman to coming back to school next year. He cannot read a defense still. and he has more interceptions, not to mention some throws that were just awful. Sayan literally outperformed Manning in the first collegiate start. One made a big time play, the other didn't. Bottom line is, if Julian came out into the draft this year, he'd be drafted in the first two rounds. Manning is coming back to school because he wouldn't be drafted in the first 3 or 4 rounds. The narrative has changed drastically. Instead of complaining about saying being a Heisman Trophy candidate, realize what he has done. Julian's stock has risen. Arch Manning stock has fallen, and it's the eye test. That's all you need. Arch can't read a defense. If the first and second options aren't there, then he's done. Sayan can age has disappeared or has displayed it all year long. The play calling is skeptical at best. I think he's talking about Texas. The offensive line has underachieved. Might be time to take a look at Texas as a whole and say that the top from top to bottom that is a D minus performance considering where you all were projected and started. Saying on the other hand would probably grade out as an A. Bottom line is Arch Manning is overrated and saying with every bit, if not more, of is what we thought we were getting. That's why one is in the playoffs and the other isn't. I love you less, but stick that in your pipe and smoke it less. That's exactly what he said. I was trying to read it and like look at you
I get
so
it.
I
Yeah.
was
So
yeah.
here would be my question to Alan. Alan, if you're listening, did you just
Well,
read every single TikTok comment that is on my videos? Because that is word for word what all of them say. But
I didn't
my rebuttal to that is that Alan kind of goes towards the end what I've been saying as to why I have Arch Manning still better than Julian Sane, and that's that Julian Sane has it every easier in every single way. Like, yes, Arch Manning has had poor performances. I'm not even biased enough to not admit that. But it is a lot easier for Julian Sand to perform when he has the 14th rated offensive line as opposed to the 85th rated offensive line that Texas has. Texas's receiving core had the most drops in the SEC. Julian Sand has Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. And that's what I'm saying. Julian Sand, through all of this, in the as far through all of this, Julian Sand is not a bad quarterback. That was never my point. My thing is, I don't think he should be a Heisman candidate because Heisman candidates to me are the same as what you would call an NFL MVP, a playmaker versus what we've seen from Julian Sayin, which is a game manager. There is no, I have also said on this podcast many times, there is nothing wrong with being a game manager. There are times where a game manager actually fits a team better than a playmaker. But the difference being is that when it comes to winning Heisman Awards, when it comes to winning MVP awards in the NFL, playmaker, those are playmaker awards. That was my point from the overall jump. And yes, Arch Manning's stock is taking a hit, but again, Texas Texas's stock overall took a hit this year. So if he had Julian Sands supporting cast, it would be interesting to see how the narrative would flip again. But that's my point with there. But we could literally talk about this all day. But
but
obviously, always as always, love to hear from you, Alan,
yeah, no, he knows it's all game and all love. But
for
with
sure.
you saying like playmaker over game manager, so does that mean that you would take Diego Pavia to win the Heisman over
Yes,
Fernando Mendoza?
yes.
Because I feel like he's more of a playmaker.
Diego Pavia was my choice to win that. As who I actually
I
did think
wasn't
should have
sure if
won
you
it.
said that. I wasn't sure if you said that,
Yeah,
but
I did. No, I did. I did prefer Diego Pavia to win it. But obviously Mendoza won it in my opinion because of the narrative of how good IU football is this year. IU
yeah,
being the number one team in the country, something we never thought we'd ever see in football, and Mendoza being like the face of that. That's why he won the Heisman in my opinion. That's not to say
yeah,
that he's not, I guess, deserving or deserves credit or whatever, but him being the face of the one of the best stories in college football is why he won the Heisman. But we could literally talk about that all day. I do have a question for Ryan though, because all
what's your
jokes
question?
aside, Louisville is in the running for landing three of the top quarterbacks currently in the transfer portal: Dylan Raiola, DJ Lagway, and Colton Joseph. Does do you think Louisville will land any of these, or do you have another quarterback in mind?
I don't know. I've liked what I've seen from Colton Joseph. I know he's a great passer, but also he's a 1,000 yard runner, and he was great for Old Dominion. I know it seems like all these quarterbacks have like the same top five. with all the places that they could go, which is like, Miami and then maybe Oregon and LSU and Louisville and Indiana. But and I know that Dylan Raiola is up there. I personally, my opinion, I don't want him, but he's not the worst quarterback ever. I just don't want to have to deal with all that, and then also like just his inconsistency. But I would love Colton Joseph. I think he's a great player, and I feel like DJ Lagway. If he was a freshman this year. I think it would be smart for him to take that Dante Moore route where he goes and sits a year, learns under a veteran quarterback, and then goes and has his time his junior year. But he's already going into his junior year next year, so he would have to start as a senior, and that would be kind of iffy. But I think DJ, he's either going to LSU or I don't know, he's going somewhere else because LSU has a they'll have a big choice to make between, I think it's really just between Trinidad Chambliss and DJ Lagway. But I think if we were to get one, it would probably be between Dylan Raiola or Colton Joseph. And I would love Colton Joseph would be my pick.
Yeah, Colton Joseph is getting a lot of love because we look back at Old Dominion's game against Indiana, and even though he didn't throw the ball well that game, he did rush for over 100 yards against that defense, which there's a lot to be said for that. You could also factor in that Old Dominion's receivers may not be up to par with IU's corners. You could maybe go that route, but
Yeah.
as Louisville looks, as a pot, looking towards like a positive improvement through the transfer portal, got to talk about my Texas Longhorns, and we don't really know what's going on with the transfer portal in that regard because Texas is having a plethora of players hit the portal right now. And
Yeah.
this offseason just got a whole lot more interesting. As I've mentioned before, O-line was an area of concern that needs to be addressed, but now linebacker is starting to be a new
That
area
line
of
on the
question.
foul.
Yeah, hold on. In ways I wasn't expecting.
I'm sorry.
Hold
I
on, hold
apologize.
on. Yeah, I'm getting there. But yeah, it's like we knew Anthony Hill would be more likely go pro. Trey Moore we knew was out of eligibility, but yes, Leona Lafau hitting the portal was one that surprised me. He was tied for Hill for third on the team with tackles and even had a fumble recovery touchdown this season. But with him leaving, Ty Anthony Smith is now the lone linebacker that's all action this year. Texas is either going to have to rely a lot on the portal or hopefully recruits like Tyler Atkinson or Cozy Okpala or as good as advertised. But now, of course, to top it all off right now, Texas is going to have to do all of this with a new defensive coordinator. An unpopular opinion, maybe, but I actually like PK as our DC. I thought if any move needed to be made, it was to demote Kyle Flug to strictly O line coach and to bring in a full time offensive coordinator. But P. Kwiatkowski, had a top three scoring defense just last season. So I felt like this move was maybe a little unwarranted. But if Texas was going to make this move, I do like that it was Will Muschamp. Being his second stint with the team, his first stint was very successful, arguably one of the best defensive coordinators in team history. During his tenure at Texas from 2008 to 2010 as the defensive coordinator, Texas led the nation in sacks with 119. They were fourth in rushing yards per game, seventh in total defense, and he developed players at a high rate as 12 of his defenders went on to be drafted, including 10 in the first four rounds. Recruits will love that. But what I love the most as a fan is that he was relentless in his coaching style and promoting high energy defensive culture that got the best out of his players. So that's what I love. But honestly, here's the $1 million question now that this leaves, Ryan. Do you know where I think Pete Kwiatkowski should go?
I personally don't know where you think he should go, but where should he go?
I say USC.
Okay. Yeah. Someone is looking at their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, because rumor has it D'Anton Lynn may be on his way out.
Yeah.
PK made a name for himself out west,
I think
at schools like Boise State, Montana State, Washington. I say go back out west. You're familiar with the recruiting territory, which is a hotbed as it is. Maybe even bring in a Leona Lafau
yeah.
and have the next great Polynesian Trojan with you. And we all know USC has needed help on that side of the ball for years now. They were improved this year. And even that being said, they were 47th in scoring defense. So PK should go to USC, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think that's a good choice for him, and it would actually give like I felt like Lincoln's. defense was a little bit better this year, but it still isn't up to par where they could, compete to be like an actual contender. So that would actually give him like a good defensive coordinator that would give him a chance to have a great defense.
I agree.
But and now to add to Texas just a little bit, I think very highly of their co-defensive coordinator Johnny Nansen,
Mhm.
who's from Arizona. I think that well, just like bringing in Will Muschamp, the defense, they'll both kind of come together and figure out a scheme, but I don't see like a big change in it. But bringing in Will Muschamp is huge. But I like what Johnny Nance has done there so far.
I agree. And I think, I'm excited. I mean, there's a lot to be desired as far as what's going to happen next and what players are going to come in, what personnel is going to be playing on that side of the ball. But,
Yeah.
if Will Muschamp is anything close to his first stint, I'm going to be very excited. And Bean clearly has feelings on the matter, but maybe not.
Um, but because we're kind of talking about the portal, I don't know if you're saving this for later. Is there one recruit that is into right now that you just have your eyes locked in on that you want right now?
Honestly, no. I mean, I don't think there's one guy. I mean, I think, I mentioned Josh Atkins in the previous episode, but if another maybe more polished right tackle comes available in the portal, I'd be good with that too. I think Texas just needs to add pieces on both the offensive line and now clearly with the linebacker as well. So,
Yeah,
no, I'm just looking for depth and, right, and players that the coaching staff feels is the right personnel.
yeah, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
anyways, on to the main portion of this podcast. The college football playoff officially kicks off tonight. We have Oklahoma versus Alabama. Oklahoma is apparently favored by 1.5 points. So, Ryan, in the first college football matchup, who do you think is going to win?
I've been feeling Oklahoma mostly all week, and then now I'm starting to feel Alabama. Just because that no one's told me anything, nothing's happened. I just have that weird feeling, and whenever Kalen DeBoer feels like he needs a win, like where his job, like where he won't get like intruders in his house if he doesn't win. I feel like he does win, especially like the George game earlier in the season. He needed that win and he got that win. So I am going to take Alabama tonight, going to Oklahoma and winning, pulling off, I don't know if kind of upset, not really, but
We'll put
uh
we'll put quotation marks around upset.
yeah, but it'll be a great win and they'll and now Alabama or will get to face Indiana, and that'll be Kurt Cignetti versus Bama. So I have Alabama winning tonight.
I also have Alabama winning tonight. I think they're going to be headhunting coming off that embarrassing loss to Georgia in the SEC championship, and I think that's just as simple as that. I'll be honest, Texas fan aside, I'm not that high on Oklahoma, to be completely honest.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that there will be just too many mistakes with Oklahoma tonight, and neither team has a great run game, but maybe one team's run game, meaning Alabama, could be a little bit better and do what they need to do to win. So, and Jam Miller is coming back for tonight's game, so that's huge.
That is definitely a big gain right there.
Yeah.
But obviously, we also have other first round matchups. We have Miami versus Texas A&M tomorrow at noon. We have Tulane versus Ole Miss at 3:30. We have James Madison against Oregon. Of those three other first round games, which one intrigues you the most?
Definitely who we would play Texas A&M and like I'll kind of give you like a rankings on which games really make me excited and make my hair stand up. Definitely Texas A&M, Miami. I'm just gonna predict that Texas A&M wins that game, but it obviously depends on what Carson Beck we get because he could either be very bad like he was against Louisville, or he could be great against some of like the good teams that he beat this year. So I think Texas A&M wins, and then the second most interesting game besides like this game tonight would be Tulane and Ole Miss because if I had to pick one of the G5 teams to keep it close, I would pick to Tulane to keep it close rather than JMU. Just because Ole Miss will look a little bit different with their defense coordinator being the head coach now, but who knows? But I still don't think it's going to be very close. I'm just saying they have a chance to. But and then JMU would be last. I think that Oregon wins big.
I was like, Tulane and Ole Miss is going to be interesting just for the simple fact of the whole Lane Kiffin situation and him leaving. But I also agree, Miami and Texas A&M is going to be the most intriguing matchup of the first round. You got two high octane offenses. I also have Texas A&M winning this game. I don't think either team played a great schedule, but I will take an SEC schedule over an ACC schedule every day of the week. And, I just think it's going to be tough to contain Marcel Reed in the pocket. I think he can get
Yeah.
loose, get some big plays open. And not to mention, I think they're going to be hungry after an embarrassing loss in their last game against Texas. I say embarrassing, not in the same way of like Alabama's being as embarrassing as far as getting blown out, but the fact that Texas A&M blew a lead against arch rival Texas on their home field, and then of course Texas still owns Texas A&M. They're still little brother.
And for like a key to victory for Miami on defense, if they wanted to win, they would have to contain Marcel Reed in the pocket and make him be a quarterback and make him pass. That would be a key to victory. And then watch the run game. I know the receivers are very good, but and their O line is good up there with like the Joe Moore Award, not like the winner, but up there for sure. But that would be like a key to victory for Miami on defense, but it just depends on what Carson Beck we get for real.
100%. 100%.
Be good though.
Is it too early to ask the $1 million question of who is going to win the whole thing?
No, I don't think so.
So who you
Um,
got?
well, I mean, you know, not even biased. I'm just gonna take my own team. We're lost 13 to 10 last year and then had a historic run. I think we should have some revenge on our minds just because, we didn't play well. The whole game planning wasn't good. It was all around bad game against Indiana. So I'm gonna take my team. I'm gonna take the Ohio State Buckeyes. Who is your pick?
There is somebody that's going to be watching this episode that's about to be very happy with me.
Yeah.
Bean. Because I have the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay.
I think Georgia is hitting their stride at the right time. This Georgia team kind of started differently from Georgia teams in the past in the way that their offense was well ahead of their defense to start the year. But since the Bama loss, their defense has started to steadily improve.
Mhm.
And in their three ranked wins to end the year, Texas, Georgia Tech, and Alabama in the SEC championship, they held each of those teams to 10 points or less. They've
Yeah.
proven they can win in shootouts like against Tennessee and against Ole Miss. But now with the defense coming alive, it's hard to bet against the dogs. But it's also telling with their notorious struggles against Bama, no pun intended, but for the dogs to get their lick back in the SEC championship has to create some positive momentum heading into the college football playoff.
It was definitely a pun intended.
There was no pun intended, I promise. I would
100%.
never do that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
Definitely.
not I'm only a dog dad. I'm not a dad, so like I can't even pull the dad joke card.
You see who they put their celebrity guest picker for A&M tomorrow?
Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, and he's been like claiming Vandy all year with Diego Pavia, but
I don't think he's been claiming Vandy so much. He's been claiming Pavia.
well, he just I mean, he's going to Vandy games, hanging out with him, but it just seems like he hasn't shown much love to Texas A&M, and I wish Texas A&M would get more love from him at least. But tonight's Brian Bosworth, which is a great pick.
Oh, 100%. The Boz.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how entertaining that interview is going to be, or that I guess Pickums is going to be.
yeah, yeah.
I wonder how many brain cells he has left.
Probably not many, um, but he wasn't playing whenever I was alive. So,
No, I wasn't alive when he was playing.
oh, really?
How old do you think I am? He's playing in
Mm,
the 80s, dude.
31.
I'm 32. You were off by a year.
Okay, I could have shot higher.
You
And
could have. I'm glad you didn't.
no, you just don't look 30. Like you don't look like 37, 35.
I don't look 37, 35. Well,
Yeah,
good.
you look
Because I'm
younger.
not.
You look younger.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm 32, not 35.
I know. That's why I was saying that's why I wouldn't shoot higher, you know?
Well, I appreciate that. And that's only because I have a hat on. Because if you saw my receding hairline, you'd be like, ah, you 40 for sure.
Yeah. But you talked about CJ Baxter and I'm blanking. Hold on. I'm looking it
I had
up.
him going to Auburn.
Yeah, I know you had him going to Auburn but The other Texas running back, Jarrett Gibson, do you have a clue where he might go?
Before the transfer portal opened, I would have said Florida because he has Florida roots.
Mhm.
Um, but now, no, I have no clue where that kid's gonna go.
Yeah. Did he get, I don't know, did he get much playing time like in a blowout at all or
Not really. No, and that was what's really disappointing because I think he was expected to get more playing time this year, but he's kind of had fumble issues too,
Mm.
and it's just hard to play you when you don't take care of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
One
he's a
player,
talented back. I mean, he's a talented, 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of back, but I mean, when you're not taking care of the ball, it's just hard to see the field.
yeah, no, that's understandable.
But do you know who I do think Texas is going to get in the transfer portal?
I don't.
Jaden Ball, the Florida running back.
But yeah, because I like Jaden Ball too. So maybe we can share him. We can cut him in half, share him.
I don't know how he would feel about that, but no. Anyways, but Texas has signed
He's a
Florida's
good
running
running
back.
back.
Yeah, he's a great, really good running back. We took Florida's running back coach, so I mean, I think that would be the easiest choice to say he's going to Texas.
Yeah. One player I would love for Ohio State to get, and this is early because I mean, portal hasn't officially opened yet. We're, open
It's
Jan.
all speculation right now.
Yeah. So there'd be more players to enter, but I would love to get Chaz Coleman from Penn State, edge rusher, big long edge rusher.
Big and long, huh?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. He's but he was, I think he's like a rated as a 5 star and like 247 as transfer portal wise. But he's an Ohio kid and he was close to committing to us out of high school. So we'd love to just take him off Penn State's hands and come join the Buckeyes because I think Caden Curry will be graduating and then we'll see if Kenyatta Jackson stays or not.
I mean, if he was a 5 star, I mean, he wouldn't really fit Matt Campbell's kind of player because what was the old saying at Iowa State? 5 star players versus 5 star culture. That wouldn't really fit the mantra if they kept a 5 star on the roster. I'm just saying.
That's why he's leaving.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's the reason.
Maybe that is the sole reason. He's like, well, you don't like 5 stars, so I'm gonna head out of here.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't think it's worth him going down to Virginia Tech. So he should come to the Ohio State.
Y'all can probably throw him a little more NIL money too.
Yeah. And then we could look at maybe a running back alongside Bo Jackson. And then maybe this would be the first year we actually get a receiver out of the portal. I haven't been complaining because it's always worked
Bruh.
out. But this is the first year that we could actually get a receiver because we've never got a receiver out of the portal.
Why would y'all even need a receiver out of the portal? Jeremiah is gonna be back next year. Y'all have Chris Henry Jr. coming in,
No,
and
just to add, just to add, just to make it more lethal.
just like an embarrassment of riches at the wide receiver spot.
Yes, like it already is. And
I was gonna say, like, I mean, I feel like if
Brandon
you're at
Anderson.
Ohio State, like, why would you want to transfer to Ohio State to get playing time? I mean, you're gonna be behind like future Pro Bowlers.
Yeah. Well, Pro Bowl that didn't say much anymore. I mean, like what?
It
Uh,
still means something to me, okay?
okay. All Pro is the
They're
thing.
fine, fine. All pro receivers. There we go.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you happy now?
I am because like what was it like Malik Willis made the Pro Bowl or something like that or no, it was one of
Tyler Huntley.
Huntley. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything anymore.
I
That,
mean,
that's
it was a very valiant effort when he came in for Lamar.
yeah, I guess so.
If Matt was on the show, that's what he would say.
Yeah.
Matt is here in spirit.
Yeah. Philip Rivers should be a Pro Bowler now, shouldn't he?
He should.
Yeah.
By that logic, by Matthew McClellan logic.
Yeah. But um But I want to say something. But is there anything else you want to say? I know we just hit the 10-minute warning.
I'm
10
gonna
minute.
say, yeah, we got about 10 minutes left before you can go back to watching your ass movies.
Okay, all right. I'm actually gonna go to the Roosters in Clarksville, so that's
Are
where I'll.
they gonna put it on the big screen?
Yeah, no, they're gonna put on Oklahoma, Alabama, the more important movie that's about to happen. But
I was waiting for a play on words there.
there won't be.
Okay.
Um, but obviously big games tonight. I just want to change the topic just for a second. I am the best basketball player on this podcast by far.
Oh hell, stop.
Um, and that is not me being cocky. That's just me being realistic. So, I
When
am.
this game
We'll
finally
have
does.
to test this whenever it gets warmer. I know it's like 55 degrees and feels like summer here, but yeah, we're gonna have to test that. Me and Les, maybe we'll have to live stream it. You never
We'll
know.
have to live stream it, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, just
With
don't try to like rage quit when like I beat you.
No, I don't do that, and I also won't be losing. But can you think of a more anticipated one-on-one more than this? Like
Um,
the answer is no. But who would be second? You know.
I feel like because of what we talked about earlier, maybe your dad versus Matt's grandma.
Well, I was thinking like LaMelo Ball, Julian Newman, but
Bro, that is not a game. That is not a game.
I know it'd be like yeah, Julian Newman's actually trying to be a boxer now. I don't know if you saw that at
Are
all.
you serious?
I'm serious. He's had fights.
Dude, as if Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua tonight wasn't bad
Hey, all right,
enough.
hold on. I want to say something.
If okay, I'm gonna say this right
Is
now
this the bull session?
before you say
What?
that, if that fight goes past 2 rounds, I'll know it's all rigged. There's
Okay.
no way.
Okay, I've always been a Jake Paul supporter, and I'm not going to change up my theory tonight. I'm going with Jake Paul to beat Anthony Joshua. All right, the measurements are totally, like dominated by AJ, but I'm going with Jake Paul. I believe in him. I've been a true fan.
Joshua was part of the heavyweight class that also featured Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, Jake is not in that league. Not even close.
Just watch.
If this is rigged. If he wins, I'll know it's without question rigged. But if it makes it past the second round, this is rigged from all get out.
Who knows? Who we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so we would never know.
Did he actually officially even beat Mike Tyson? Because I know it
Uh,
was like apparently like a no decision.
I mean, Mike Tyson just needs to. We just need to stop
I
boxing
was like,
him.
he's way past his prime. That's
I think he's
stupid.
gonna fight Floyd Mayweather, and like soon.
That was. Are you serious?
Serious. I'm serious. I think he is. Let me look it up.
I know Logan fought Mayweather in an exhibition, and like
I
you
think
could
Logan.
definitely tell Mayweather was not being serious at all.
No, he's not. And
And then
Logan's done fighting. I think.
what happened to like why wasn't he fighting Tank? Because I wanted to see that one because Tank, I guarantee you would not have gave a shit about the narrative and just knocked his ass out.
Um. Oh, that's Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson is spring 2026. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that and why they can't fight because supposedly Tank assaulted someone that was a woman.
Oh,
So
I didn't hear about that.
yeah, but I barely heard about that. So that kind of that kind of got canceled, and then now he had like a list of fighters that he wanted to pick, and he chose Anthony Joshua. So next
He
might be like Francis Ngannou.
Lord, listen, I just can't wait for the
But
end of all this.
no, but I wanted to see Tank Davis. Like he went from obviously both good fighters. He went from someone that is short to someone that is absolutely ginormous. So that's a big difference.
Tank Davis is actually my favorite boxer to watch
He's and it sucks that I mean boxing has just gone down of like as viewership. Like
because of people like Jake Paul.
no,
Well,
he
no, like okay, boxing as a whole is ruined because of people like Jake Paul, but no, he's helped bring the viewership back up because of this BS
now
shit.
that whole YouTube thing that was like the whole YouTube TikTok like fighting, event. Jake Paul wasn't in that, but that was the dumbest boxing I've ever watched, and I did watch a little bit of it. Just
Hmm.
little Huddy boxing. It was terrible. But
You know,
Jake,
I will definitely be watching the Alabama Oklahoma game before I watch Jake Paul and Anthony
what's on
Joshua.
Netflix? So you could probably turn on two screens.
Probably could.
You know
I'm
how
not
you
going to
do two
though.
screens for like basketball, and you could do that with Jake Paul and watch him win.
No, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it is.
I'm about to ask you to put 50 on it.
You see, it's Christmas time. We gotta save our money.
I've already bought all my Christmas presents. Sorry,
Well,
I got grown man money and you don't.
yeah,
That's unfair. You're a college kid.
yeah, yeah.
I was broke in college too. I get it.
It's okay. You take it back.
That was me taking it back.
Yeah, cool. Shake. We'll shake on it. Yep.
Virtual shake. There
Yep.
we go.
But do you buy enough for Bean, or you could
Oh,
spoil?
Bean is well taken care of. That is one. That is one. That is one guy that does not have to worry, right, bud?
Did you buy Bean's gifts more like quicker than your girlfriend's?
Yes.
Okay,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
and she wouldn't want it any other way.
Okay, that's fair. She probably did the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just going back, try not to get off topic too much. I know we got 2 minutes
We
left.
literally did,
We did,
but it's
but
okay. It's our.
bringing it back,
It's my show. I can't
the,
go. I don't know. I was trying to think of a word. There's a guy on TikTok that does this list, and he goes and he says it's my list. I can't miss. So I was trying to play on that and say it's my show. I can't go. I don't know,
yeah,
but couldn't think of anything that rhymes with go.
but obviously, play. What's better than the college football playoffs? I don't think anything. So
March Madness.
okay. Oh, Joe Klatt said no. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear that. No.
Joe Klatt March Madness take?
Well, isn't Joe Klatt specifically like a college football analyst?
Yes. Yes,
Well,
but
no shit, he's gonna side with the college football playoff. I mean, yeah,
oh, no,
that's bad
it wasn't
marketing if he
between
doesn't.
that. It wasn't between that. He said that March Madness was the and he made a video recently kind of backtracking on that and like kind of explaining himself a little bit. But he said that March Madness was the dumbest event ever because with the tournament it doesn't crown a true champion, and he said that it should be like the World Cup where they're in splits into groups and you automatically play like 3 games.
That's the
So,
dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, Joe Klatt, you sound stupid.
so I'm surprised you didn't hear about that. That was going on everywhere.
Well, there's so many sports takes a day. It's hard to hear them all. But no, I didn't hear that. But
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Yeah.
No,
Looking for
obviously I love the college football playoff, but March Madness is always going to be my first love.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, whenever Duke makes it every year, you can get excited about it.
That's true. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
something, yeah. Duke's always has a chance to do well in it. It helps. Anyways, we got about a minute left, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. As always, like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube and Spotify channel to get the latest updates we have on content coming out. Be sure to follow the social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Threads. That's at Less is More Sports. Be sure to follow the side quest on TikTok. That's at BeansDad018. Had to get that out of the way before I say yet again that Joel Klatt is an idiot.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let him know you said that.
I'm sure he cares.
He heard it so much from everyone. Like he said it was a bad take, but then
What's another? Yeah, what's another guy?
what?
I was saying, yeah, what's another guy telling him he's an idiot? He don't care at this point.
Yeah. He's got a lot of money. Is that all that matters now?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I got a lot of money and you don't. Not saying really, but that's
Yeah, pretty
that
much. I mean, that is the number one comeback. I mean, that's what Mike Bibby was even talking about, like players when they asked, is like how much money you gonna give me when he recruits them.
was funny. Yeah, yeah. That was funny.